Yo, 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 what up, what up? It's your boy Chad back with another video. Back on Angel Time. I want to first ask if you guys get the like button on the way into the video. That's of course your thing, but it means everything to me. And if you guys are liking the content, subscribe to the tribe. Alright, so let's get up. If you guys get the title of the video, I named it How I Fell in Love with Lust. How I fell in love with lust. And before I found God, before I hopped on semen retention, I was in a 20-year relationship with lust. It was a crazy thing. And in this video, I'm going to be going over how my lust journey started. In fact, when I go over some of these talking points, this is pretty much how all of our lust journey started. And especially for my generation, millennials, there's going to be a lot of nostalgia in this video. So stand by, stand by, stand by. So yeah, man, I definitely wanted to make this video for a while, but today is the day I will finally make this video. So that's the reason why I'm making this video for you guys, how I fell in love with lust. So without further ado, let's get it. Let's go. And first is corn. And I know some of y'all like, well, duh, of course corn is going to be first. But no, remember, corn was not as accessible today as it was back then. In fact, let's go back in the time machine till 2001 when I first fell in love with lust. Remember, during that time, there was no cell phones. Internet wasn't that big. We had VHS, we had DVDs, and all that good jazz during that time. It wasn't like we just hop on our phone and we just pull up the websites and all that type of stuff. No, this was not existent at this point. But at that time, we had a thing called the Spice Channel. I'm sure you guys are like, yo, I remember that. I remember that. Yes, man, the Spice Channel. That used to be channel 67 in my cable channel, channel 67, man. But at my house, it was a parental guidance on it, so I could not log into the Spice Channel at my house. But at that time in 7th grade, pretty much every day I was going to my best friend's house. Every time after school, I was always there, and he didn't have that parental guidance on his, so I started watching Corno. And also at that time, I think the sex education wasn't as like it is today, because I didn't know anything about sex. I just thought you hump with a woman and that's how she get pregnant. I didn't know the penis actually goes inside the vagina or anything. Like I said, the sex education wasn't what it is today back then either. They was just going around it. It's not as talked about as it is today. But yeah, like I said, I had no idea the penis goes into the vagina. I had no idea about sperm. I just thought you hump with a girl and that's how she get pregnant, man. But to the point, yeah, I used to go to his house every single day and we used to watch Corno. Yeah, man, it was a crazy thing. And that's when I finally started to realize, yes, the penis goes inside the vagina. I learned about semen and all that type of stuff. It ejaculates and everything. And I remember one time in particular. This goes back to what I was saying earlier. There was no how you had to watch Corno at that time. DVDs, because there was pretty much no VHS. VHS was going out of style. DVDs was coming in style. So there were DVDs out at that time, but I didn't have a DVD player, and I just got a PlayStation 2. So PlayStation 2 it was compatible with DVDs at the time. So yes, I just got a PlayStation 2, and there was this guy, this African guy. He was selling bootleg Corno DVDs. At that time, also, that was a big business. People selling bootleg DVDs. That was a big business. But yeah, he was selling bootleg Corno DVDs, and my cousin bought one. It was maybe $5 at that time. My cousin bought the first corn DVD that we have, and I remember we was watching it, and that was the first time I fapped. I fapped right then and there. I was watching that, man, and I finally released for the first time after watching that. And ever since then, man, I fell in love with Pinky. I fell in love with Cherokee. I fell in love with Roxy Reynolds. I fell in love with Kitten. I fell in love with Jada Fire. I fell in love with Capri Styles. I'm sure you guys yo, he know all of them. Yo, I told you in the beginning, man, I'm bringing out nostalgia in this video because, like I said, I knew all those Corno stars, man. Roxy Reynolds, Kitten, all of them, man. Even the male Corno stars, man. Lexington Steels, Wesley Pipes, what's the guy name that looked like Lloyd Banks? Brian Pumper. And what's the other dude? I know you guys even know what I'm talking about, man. That Jamaican dude with the dreads. I don't know his name. If I could find a picture of him, I'll leave him up. But you guys know who I'm talking about because this dude was in all of those Corno DVDs and all that type of stuff. This dude was crazy. But to the whole point, yes, man, that's how I fell in love with Corno at the time, man. Like I said, watching the Spice Channel, watching those Corno DVDs and all that type of stuff, man, which was a crazy thing. And like I said, it was not as accessible as it is today, as you just hop on your phone and just pull up the X videos or the Corn Hub and all that type of stuff, man. It was not that accessible back then. Like you actually had to pay and all that type of stuff to watch Corno, which was a crazy thing. And that just goes to show you how far this Corno rabbit hole has gone in these last 20 something years, man. Like 2001, that was 23 years ago, man. Like I said, it was hard to watch Corno back in those days. You actually had to pay to watch Corno back in those days. But now, like I said, I could just pull up my phone right now and pull up the hub, which is a crazy thing. But yeah, man. Yes, that's definitely started it, and I'm sure this started it for everybody, man. Watching Corno, man, especially for my millennials. Yes, man, it was not as accessible, man, but it's crazy thing in this journey, man. Watching Corno and all that type of stuff, and that's what started this whole rabbit hole for me, man. Corno started this whole thing, man. So yeah, man, that was definitely the first thing that made me fall in love with lust. Corn. And next is sexual immorality. And sexual immorality in layman's terms just mean being nasty. And that's exactly what we were doing at that time, being nasty. Because as you guys know, in your teenage years, you were starting to develop, man. You and the girls at the time are starting to develop. You're starting to find yourself and all that good jazz, man. And you just start to be nasty because your testosterone is popping. For the women, their estrogen is popping. And it's just a crazy thing during those times. And I remember in elementary school, like at lunchtime when we used to play with the girls, like it was more friendly, like more jumping rope, more hopscotch, and all that type of stuff. But once we hit around junior high school, we started to get real nasty during lunchtime. Like in fact, I'm gonna play a clip from my favorite movie of all time, The Wood, man. And this is exactly what we used to do at lunchtime. So
hey, but look, hey, you gotta do it before lunch is over, the best off.
Yeah, man. Ain't got all day.
Okay. Okay, man.
Check this nigga out.
This nigga about to get
They about to use their ass whoop.
I was ready, determined. Hell, for $1, it was worth the risk. And the booty was looking good.
His face, man.
Damn. She clocked your ass. Oh, man, give me.
Yes. Like that was definitely something we were doing, man, at lunchtime, grabbing booties. Like in fact, I did the same exact thing and I got suspended. That was the first time I got suspended, man. I grabbed that girl booty and all that type of stuff. If you're watching this, like I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. But yeah, man, I grabbed her booty. She told the principal on me and I got suspended. And she brought, because if you watch that movie, that girl, she had blood brothers. That girl, with me, she had Crip brothers, and her brothers came up to school, man. And I had to run home and all that good jazz, man, which was a crazy thing. But to the point, I'm sorry. If you ever see this, I'm sorry, man. We were kids. I'm sorry. But yeah, to the point, like, yeah, we was getting real nasty. And not only with that, like in a classroom, we was flashing each other, man. Like I would show women my, they would show me their breasts and all that type of stuff. Like, yeah, it was a crazy thing. And not only with that, there was a thing, I don't know if it's called this in every other state, but in New York, it was called getting a dub. And if you guys, like I said, we bringing out nostalgia, man. Like a dub, the boys used to stand against the wall, and the girls would bend over and they would shake their behind on the guy's lower part. So it would be like it's a dance, but it was also nasty, man. So they would shake their behinds, and all you would have to do would just be in a circle and just guide the butt and all that type of stuff, man. Which was a crazy thing. But yeah, man, that's what we used to do all the time, man. Get dubs, smack women's backside, or smack girls' backsides, and just be nasty, man. Be in the back of the classroom, showing our lower parts, seeing breasts and all that type of stuff, or in a staircase, starting to do stuff, man. Like that was a crazy thing. And also, going back to the Corno, I started I started fapping first. So fapping was how I started. Fapping was how I first started releasing, and at that point, after I started releasing, like I started to want to do stuff with girls, and it was this girl like at the time, man. Like she wanted to do stuff also, man, and that was our first experience, man. Like I remember, I'm not sure if it was school that day, or maybe did we cut school? Like I don't know what it was, man. But we linked up, and the school I was going to at the time was next to present day Barclays Center. So at that time during 2001, is nothing like how that area looks over now. For all my New Yorkers, like you already know, at that time, 2001, it was a lot of industrial over there, man. It was a lot of nefarious things over there. Like that was like a dead zone over there. Like it was a crazy thing. But I remember me and her, like we snuck off in an abandoned building, and that was the first time I got HEAD. And yeah, that was a crazy thing. And ever since then, that's how I really fell in love with lust. Because once I started doing stuff with women, that's when I really fell down that rabbit hole. Like that was my thing at one point, man. Just get HEAD, and then soon that led to me losing my V and all that type of stuff. But so the whole point I'm trying to make, man, sexual immorality, man. Like I was being nasty. We was all being nasty at that time, and of course, what we was doing back in those days don't even compare to what these kids are doing nowadays, because they having full blown threesomes and all types of stuff in like 5th grade and all that type of stuff. Like these kids nowadays is nasty. Like stuff I wasn't doing until I got into my adult years. Like they are doing now, which is a crazy thing. But yeah, man, like I said, we were nasty back in those days, man. Like I said, lunchtime, smacking girls' backsides, getting chased around and all that type of stuff, man. Showing our lower parts, seeing breasts, being nasty in the staircase. Like I said, it was a big crazy thing at that point, man. So yeah, man, that is also another reason how I fell in love with lust, man. Sexual immorality. And lastly is friends. And let's go back to that clip of the wood, man. Like it was his friends that put him up to doing that. And also with me, man, like I said, I was minding my business, man, living a good life. At my house, there was a parental guidance on the Spice Channel. I couldn't watch it. But like I said, at my friend's house, that's where they had it off. And that's how I fell in love with Corno and all that type of stuff, man. It was my friend. But now to the point, I'm not gonna put it only on my friends, because even myself, I was with it. I was probably the ringleader, man. So I gotta put it to myself. But to the point, yes, man, friends was also another reason how I fell in love with lust. Because even to this day, every time when I meet a male friend, like that's what their life was about, and that's what my life was about when I used to hang around my friends, man. Getting fly, getting fresh, doing everything just to chase around women and all that type of stuff. Like everything was just about us releasing and being low vibrational and all that type of stuff, man. I remember that's pretty much how I met pretty much all of my friends in my life, man, especially in school. That was our life, man. Like going back to what I was saying earlier, man, at lunchtime, chasing girls around, smacking booty and all that type of stuff, man. Like I said, that was my friendships, man. Just around getting women, getting fresh to get women and all that type of stuff, man. And then once I graduated school and I hopped into the military, man, like that's when I really jumped out the rabbit hole. Because as you guys know, the military is pretty much an orgy. Like it was so much sex going on in the military is crazy. Like in fact, especially after you graduate boot camp and you go to A school, like you're going to be having the most sex you ever had in your life. Like that's when, yeah, like I was stationed after I graduated boot camp. I was stationed in Pensacola, Florida. That's where my A school was at. So there was a beach there. And like I said, that was the most sex I've ever seen in my life. Like it was a crazy thing. A school was pretty much like a college campus. Like A school was my college for me. Like so, like I said, people leaving the socks on the door. You go inside your room and your roommate is having sex. Like everything is just so open. Like I said, A school was like my college for me, man. But to the point, military in general, one big orgy, man. Everybody was having sex, especially during deployments. Everybody was having sex. Like it was one big sex scene. But to the whole point I'm trying to make, man, yes, man, the friendships that I had during the times, man, everything was just about getting women and all that type of stuff, low vibrational type of stuff, man. And that was definitely how I fell in love with lust, man, because that's what we was doing. That was our life. That was our life. We didn't have nothing else to do. That was the dopamine, man. Get fly, get the women, get the cars, the clothes, and the jewels to get women and all that type of stuff. The shape ups, haircuts, like everything was leading to you getting women at the end of the day. And yes, that's how I fell in love with lust, which is a crazy thing. But now, like I said, I don't even worry about that. I don't care about that at all, man. I cut all them friends off, man. And to the point, to this whole video, man, I stopped with the sexual immorality. I stopped watching the corn and all that good jazz, man. And this is how I've been freed from this lust demon that I was fighting with for 20 years, man. 20 years straight, man. I was dealing with all of this stuff that I named off in this video, which was a crazy thing. But to the whole point of this video, that's how I started, man. Like I said, corn, sexual immorality, and friends, man. We started this whole semen retention journey. We started this whole God journey and everything, man. Like all of this started back in 2001, man. Like I said, it's all started with that, man. That little thing, man. Me falling in love with Corno, which spearheaded everything else in this journey for me, man. So for my people out there, the faster you can get in control over your sexual desires, man, the better your life is going to be, man, because you don't want to be in this 20-year rabbit hole like I was in. Like I said this before in the previous video, I have lost so much in these last 20 years, and I'm just starting to get it back in these last 2.5 years since I've been on semen retention and since I found God, man. So don't be like me. Learn from fools like me, man. This is not cool, man. That is 20 years that I'm never going to get back in my life, man. So for you guys out there, get in control now, man. You do not want to be like me, man. This is not cool, man. So I want to do a quick wrap up on how I fell in love with lust. And first is corn. Second is sexual immorality. And lastly, with friends, man. So that wraps up the video, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share my video out to everybody, and also check out my other content. First, be right the most high. Then get on Angel Time.